the people that were talking about Sonny Rollins or Monk or whoever, or Frank Sinatra or whoever, all I'm doing is my own attempt at getting close to that thing that I love about what that is. And it always feels like it's just a nowhere close to, I'm trying to imitate this other thing that I can't get to. And I'll never get there. But somewhere along the way, like, I don't know when, so people would say, wow, someone else would tell me that I had a unique sound or something, I guess. But I'm not sure if I even knew that myself. I don't know if that's what it's an awareness that came from other people. Because all I'm trying to do is just imitate everything. And, but then there's also that I know that feeling of you have to be sure enough of yourself. It's a hard question. I don't know. I mean, I think like just as I'm struggling to speak right now, that's the same. Every person on the planet has their own voice, right? When you talk, we know that this is you. When you talk, that's you. And so when you play, that's gonna, if we can just not be afraid to, I mean, I spent time, I think, early on being embarrassed or afraid of showing where I came from. You know, I grew up in Denver, Colorado, and I grew up during the 50s and the 60s. But there was a time when I wanted to be a cool jazz guy that was from another era or something. And that wasn't being honest, you know? So there's something about not being afraid to, you have to show what your own life is, and then your own voice comes out in that. And I mean, again, I go back, like Sonny Rollins, it was almost like a lesson from him. Like I wanted to, you know, I would learn a Sonny Rollins song, or I would play a song that Sonny Rollins played. But then there was a point, wait a minute, that song that he's playing, Surrey with the Fringe on Top or whatever, that was a song that he heard when he was whatever, how old he was, or that was a song. And then so me then, well, wait a minute, why can't I play Surfer Girl? Because that's when I was a kid, I liked that song, so I'll play that. So it's almost like I got by being inspired by those guys, after a point, it's not about trying to play like them, it's about these other lessons that they're to be, you know. And like with Paul, Paul Motion had his, when we did those Broadway albums, those were the songs from his earlier in his life. Like he knew the words, or he knew them from a movie, or whereas for me, they're more, I've learned to know them and love them too, but it's coming later to them, or they weren't like part of my childhood or something as much as like for him. So anyway, there's this thing about, I think, my advice to like some younger player, you know, just don't be afraid of, you know, deep down inside what really you actually like. Don't be afraid to show it to somebody else, because if you like it, if you love it, that's what's going to come out in the music. You know, you can't know what somebody else is going to like. You can't try to figure out what somebody else is going to like. You'll never know what that is. But if you are playing what you just love, I think that feeling transmits to other people more strongly than anything.
Mm-hmm.